A captivating storyline can elevate a game from mere entertainment to an unforgettable experience in the vast gaming landscape. From epic adventures to intimate character studies, the best storylines in games have the power to transport players to immersive worlds filled with intrigue, emotion, and discovery. Today we unveil the top 10 games with the most compelling narratives that have left players spellbound. Number 10, Immortality. Immortality is an interactive trilogy from Her Story and Telling Lies, developer Sam Barlow and Half Mermaid, that expertly engrosses you in a mystery. With a novel approach to storytelling, the experience has you looking through reams of footage in 3 movies that were never released. To uncover what happened to the missing film star Marissa Marcel, you'll watch scenes unfold and have to try and hone in on different aspects to uncover more footage. Every little detail or nuanced expression could be a new threat to pull at, with behind-the-scenes instances, film moments, and others that will keep you guessing as you try to get to the root of the mystery. With a voyeuristic feel at times, it succeeds at drawing you right into Marissa's world, and it's hard not to want to keep pulling at those threads to find out what truly happened. Number 9. God of War. After the incredibly original trilogy, few gamers would have thought Kratos and Santa Monica Studio had a great story in them. How wrong we were. While the original games were defined by all-consuming, vengeful hate, the rebooted God of War ditches much of that loathing for deep-seated, yet restrained parental love. By giving Kratos a son, Sony finally allows Kratos to become a genuinely three-dimensional character, albeit one who still yanks an ogre's innards out every 40 seconds. The former Stargate SG-1 actor makes a wonderful Kratos, giving a performance that dovetails between barely contained rage and an all-encompassing love for his child. Once you've experienced the story of the first game, it's well worth journeying your way through the recent follow-up, God of War Ragnarok. Number 8, Telltale's The Walking Dead. An intense, emotional ride until the very end. Telltale's The Walking Dead was our game of the year in 2012 because of its gut-wrenching story. Lee Everett, a man on his way to prison, plays the unlikely hero who stumbles upon Clementine, a young girl whose parents were vacationing in another city when the zombie apocalypse happened. Their unexpected journey takes them to Savannah, where her parents should be, and along the way they meet a cast of characters whom they grow to love or hate with a burning passion. The game's strengths are its dialogue and character development, and it's impossible not to feel sad, guilty, or angry whenever Clementine witnesses or experiences anything horrible. It's a given that there will be gruesome scenes when the dead start walking, but the pacing and execution of each scenario made The Walking Dead stand out. Number 7. The Last of Us. The most emotionally layered big-budget video game there's ever been. The Last of Us proves to be a masterclass in single-player pacing, setting you in the shoes of a grizzled gunrunner who's more than done with the end of the world. TLO stands unbelievably tall thanks to his relationship with a young girl who may just hold the key to saving humanity. Ellie isn't just one of the most complex heroes ever. She's arguably the most significant character in PlayStation history. With a remastered re-release that brought the PS3 to PS4, Joel and Ellie's adventure also got a next-gen upgrade with the launch of The Last of Us Part 1. Plus, the story even saw the creation of the hit HBO show The Last of Us based on the game. Once you reach the conclusion of the first, it's also worth experiencing the sequel, The Last of Us 2. Number 6. What Remains of Edith Finch. It's hard to tell you exactly why this indie story is so utterly unique, without ruining it entirely. But that's part of its charm. The less you know about this electrically eclectic game, the better. Set aside a Sunday afternoon and play it through in one sitting. And trust us, you won't regret it. We can tell you that it's a collection of strange stories about what happened to members of one family. Each one is told using a different gameplay style, and how they play out is as inventive as the stories themselves. This is interactive storytelling at its finest. Freed from big-budget story pressures, What Remains of Edith Finch can be gloriously random whenever it wants. One moment, you'll be playing as a seal-devouring shark, the next, a fish-butchering factory worker, and just when you think you've got its narrative pacing pegged, Edith will floor you with an incredible homage to Michael Myers' Halloween. This is independent storytelling at its most nuanced. Number 5. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Look out, Nilfgaardians! Geralt is back in town. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt takes our gravel-voiced hero on a search for Ciri, his young ward, who has attracted Hunt's malevolent interest. This whole game world draws its inspiration from Eastern Europe, giving it a different flavor than the average fantasy RPG. But The Witcher 3 transcends expectations for the genre left and right. The characters are fully realized and relatable, and their interactions have nuance. The writing is head and shoulders above the average script. The game systems are impeccably executed and help to further the story. And where most games only have binary good or bad ethical rules, this series has always been most comfortable exploring morally murky areas. Wild Hunt's core game was a masterclass of storytelling, but the addition of the Blood and Wine DLC took the game's narrative to the next level. Number 4. Baldur's Gate 3. The storytelling in Larian's D&D-infused RPG is masterful. Baldur's Gate 3 comprises 3 acts rich with choice and discovery. You wake aboard an alien ship with an unwelcome tadpole passenger taking up residence in your brain. You're hurtled into an adventure full of memorable moments, mysteries to uncover, and enemies to face as you navigate your newfound connection to the Mind Flayers and a nefarious cult of the Absolute. The party members that join you are brilliantly brought to life with their own storylines, flaws, and nuances that make everyone feel fleshed out and relatable, and getting to know them brings so much added depth to the adventure. There's also so much scope to relive the narrative differently, from creating your own character and picking one of many different classes, experiencing one of the preset origins, or exploring the mysteriously murderous Dark Urge storyline. Baldur's Gate 3 takes you on an unforgettable journey, with an impressive amount of choice that will surprise you repeatedly. Number 3. Bioshock. Far more than just its perfectly judged final act twist, Ken Levine's genre-defining shooter proves itself to be a master of background storytelling. In Rapture, you're dealing with one of the excellent video game settings, a submerged city that defies expectations at every wicked watery turn. At one point, you'll be admiring a giant squid as it scuttles past the hub of a long-submerged city. The next, you could quickly be setting your Palpatine-style lightning hands on a monstrous deep-sea diver whose only purpose is to protect a small girl so sinister that she makes the kid out of the ring look like Mary Poppins Jr. Number 2. Red Dead Redemption 2. This is the second part of one of the greatest video game stories ever told. Once again, this is an exception to including multiple game entries from the same series in this list. Still, what choice do we have when it comes to Arthur Morgan's wondrous Wild West quest, combining empowering gunplay with one of the most geographically interesting open-world maps of all time? This is AAA storytelling at its best. Regardless of the fate of its outlaw, Red Dead Redemption 2 somehow sets the stage for an even more compelling sandbox story, with both games combining to create a larger, more cathartic story. Number 1. Silent Hill 2. There's a sinister genius to the storytelling in Silent Hill 2. It starts as a mysterious love story. James Sunderland is searching for his wife after receiving a letter from her 1 year after her death. It ends up as something far darker and more complex. Silent Hill 2 tells its intricate story on multiple levels. While the spoken narrative leaves little doubt about what kind of man James Sunderland is, how you play and interact with the world also has an impact. Spend the game at half health, for example, and you'll get a different ending because your lack of regard for his health tells the game that you think James is suicidal. Interesting, right? Symbolism also plays a significant role. Every disgusting creature in the game is a manifestation of James's twisted psyche, physical representations of his sexual hang-ups and guilt. By the end, you'll have lost every empathy you had with the game's protagonist. How often do you get to play an entire horror game before discovering you're the real monster? These 10 games with the best storylines offer a diverse array of experiences that captivate, inspire, and immerse players in rich and compelling narratives. What's your favorite out of these? Make sure to let us know your thoughts. And don't forget to like today's video. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.